I would like to preface this video by saying that all the thoughts shared in this video are strictly my opinions and interpretations. Now, obviously, all of my videos tend to have a lot of my own personal opinion, however this one in particular is an opinion that was formed after several discussions and analysis, and I gladly welcome a differing opinion. In fact, this opinion may be subject to change depending on how Oda tackles this topic in the future of the series. Without further ado though guys, let us talk about titles in One Piece, their validity, and specifically Kaido's so-called title of the world's strongest creature. So in the world of One Piece there are 4 individuals who the fandom believe to have world-renowned titles. Whitebeard was the world's strongest man before he died. Mihawk is currently the world's strongest swordsman, Dragon is currently the world's worst criminal, and Kaido is supposedly the world's worst criminal. Now the reason I say supposedly for Kaido is because of the nature of his introduction and his so-called title. Kaido does not bear the title of the world's strongest creature, and here's why. Kaido has never ever been explicitly referred to by Oda as the world's strongest creature, and trust me, I have looked, and everything I found, every single thing about Kaido, every instance where Oda talks about Kaido or he's mentioned in the series, Oda has never directly referred to him as the world's strongest creature. And before you try to put this in the description, do not bring up the Viz promotional message for One Piece because that is not from Oda, that is from the editors over at Viz. If the information you're providing doesn't come from Oda, then it bears little to no weight. Characters in the series, in One Piece itself, believe that Luffy is a 20-foot tall giant. So if Viz editors who aren't Oda themselves think Kaido is the world's strongest creature, that doesn't matter to me. I care about what Oda thinks. Before we delve into the topic of Kaido specifically, I want to clear up some things regarding titles themselves and tell you guys what I think. There are so many questions regarding titles in the world of One Piece. Who gives out these titles? How do people attain these titles? Can somebody keep their title even if that title is no longer true? For example, was Whitebeard truly the world's strongest man 2 years ago, even after growing old and developing sickness? Is Mihawk truly the world's strongest swordsman, or is there somebody else out there who can be coined a swordsman stronger than him? Is Dragon really the world's worst criminal, or is there somebody out there that we haven't met yet that could be worse than him? There are so many questions and very little answers, but my stance regarding titles actually answers all of these questions, and that stance is that these titles come from Oda himself, and they are without a doubt 100% factual. When Oda tells us these things, he is talking to us directly. He isn't just telling us in terms of the story. The narrator is telling us, this individual is the world's strongest man, or this individual is the world's strongest swordsman. Whitebeard was introduced as the world's strongest man, so to me, he is the world's strongest man. And of course, you can make your arguments from a power scaling standpoint as to why he wasn't, but there is no concrete fact that places him under anybody else in the One Piece world at the time. Whereas there's a title and an introduction that directly calls him the world's strongest man. Same goes for Mihawk and Dragon. I completely believe their titles, and I believe this is something from Oda himself, something that I will not dispute, and in fact cannot dispute. There is not a single piece of concrete evidence out there that can prove these titles wrong in any way, shape or form. However, the same cannot be said for Kaido. In fact, Kaido doesn't even have a title. If you go back to volume 79, chapter 795 and look at Kaido's introduction scene, the narrator does not say that Kaido is the strongest creature alive. No. The narrator says that this pirate is said to be the strongest creature alive. The narrator says that people say in a 1v1 always bet on Kaido. So this leads you to ask, who are these people who say these things? One can only assume that the narrator is talking about the characters within the world of One Piece, right? When you're talking about people in general like that, you're talking about the global populace. It's just a rumor, guys. And don't get me wrong, the argument for Kaido to be the top 1 strongest in the verse and the world's strongest creature, it's good. It's a very good argument. You can think he's number 1, and I'm gonna respect you for it, because there's nothing wrong with thinking that. But there's also nothing wrong with thinking he isn't. If you look at Kaido's character and track record, you'll see that he's the kind of guy who probably doesn't really care about keeping a low profile. He does whatever he wants. He attempted to attend the War of the Best at Marineford, and Shanks had to stop him somehow. He jumped off a sky island and landed on a random island with supernova on it just because he felt like killing himself. It's clear that Kaido just does what he wants, and people probably know of his power thanks to this. The public have knowledge on Kaido's strength. They know that he has fought Moria in the past. They know of his accomplishments. They possibly know that he has killed Odin, the same guy Whitebeard saw as a brother. If you hear of these accomplishments and you think of his terrifying strength and the fact that no one has been able to kill him and he has this tough, impenetrable skin and he's massive, you are going to want to bet on this guy in a 1v1, and that is why he is said to be the strongest creature alive. But is he really? Because when you think about Dragon, for example, Dragon is the kind of guy to keep an extremely low profile. He's the world's worst criminal, which most likely means he has the highest current bounty in the world of One Piece, but that doesn't mean people know of his strength. I doubt Dragon is out here jumping off of sky islands and publicizing his terrifying strength in the same way that Kaido does. Something that's also very important to note is that not only in the canon manga are Mihawk and Whitebeard referred to as directly what their title is, this has been backed up by Vivre cards and databooks, whereas with Kaido, that has never been stated. Kaido was referred to as the King of Beasts, not the world's strongest creature. Mihawk has epithets to call him by, but yet Oda insists on calling him the world's strongest swordsman, and he states in Vivre cards that it is an unequivocal fact Mihawk is the world's strongest swordsman. Same goes for Whitebeard. Whitebeard has other things to call him by, yet Oda chooses to call him the world's strongest man. In SBS's though, Oda at the very best only implies that Kaido was the strongest. He still doesn't want to say it outright. What I'm talking about is the main thing that people who believe Kaido's title isn't fraudulent use. And this is from SBS volume 83, where Oda uses Kaido as a frame of reference for power. A fan asked, "Is my mother stronger than Akainu?" And Oda replied by saying, "It is a no-brainer that your mother is the strongest creature in the world. She is stronger than Kaido, but she loves you more than anyone." Here, Oda uses Kaido as a frame of reference for what power is. He uses him as the benchmark for strength, and as interesting as the implications of this statement are, they are still just implications. This is a deflection from the Akainu question in order to hype up Kaido and build up this fake hype. He still hasn't given us any explicit answers. Oda leaves no doubt for this mother to actually be the world's strongest creature. He highlights that by saying she is the world's strongest creature, but with Kaido, there is a lot to be debated here because this isn't delivered as a fact by Oda, but rather as an implication. Keep in mind that this SBS answer is also just 4 volumes after Kaido's introduction, which was also used to hype him up tremendously. Kaido's introduction, although it isn't as clear cut as Whitebeard's or Mihawk's, is enough for most people to put him as the world's strongest creature. But still, his hype is very shaky. I find it so odd how shaky this hype is, how fake it feels. The amount of effort Oda goes through to not call this guy the world's strongest creature is insane. Even in the character logs at the start of volumes or chapters, it says, "This pirate is said to be the world's strongest creature." Again, Oda refrains from actually calling him the world's strongest creature. Why? Why does he go to such lengths to be vague and only imply it at times? That is the main reason why I don't think he's top 1. The reason I find Kaido's hype so shaky is because you could genuinely say the exact same thing for Luffy being 25 foot tall. People say Luffy is 25 foot tall. In Dressrosa, the people genuinely say that, whilst we know that Luffy is barely 2 foot tall. It's the exact same thing. The general individual in the global populace of the world of One Piece believe Luffy to be this tall monster, this 25 foot tall monster, and we know this is just a rumor. Just like the general individual of the global populace of the One Piece world believe that Kaido is the world's strongest creature. It's just a rumor. These aren't facts, they're just rumors. Kaido should be referred to by the fandom as the King of Beasts, not the world's strongest creature, because he isn't the world's strongest creature. People say he's the world's strongest creature. Oda calls him the King of Beasts, whilst Mihawk, Whitebeard, who actually have a ton of epithets and other names to be called by, are always referred to by their titles. This entire thing just emphasizes for me just how much Oda respects these titles. He's putting all of this effort into not calling Kaido the world's strongest creature, always emphasizing that it is a rumor, which is why I can't put him at number 1. And this is also why I believe Whitebeard was definitely the strongest person in the world 2 years ago. And it is also the reason why there is not a single swordsman alive who is stronger than Mihawk. And it is also the reason why there is not a single criminal out there who is worse than Dragon. So big props to Kaido for being a fraud, because his fraudulence helps to solidify Whitebeard, Mihawk, and Dragon's credibility. That is it for today's video, guys. Before I end this, I want to say, I'm not saying Kaido isn't strong. I know calling him a fraud just sounds disrespectful, but all I'm saying is there is an extremely big possibility that he isn't the strongest. Sure, he might be top 1, and I can respect you putting him there, but for now, there is nothing exceedingly impressive enough for me to put him at number 1. If Oda does actually give him this title though, and explain if it actually includes humans too, I am immediately going to address that and put Kaido at number 1. But for now, I just can't do that. That is all for today though, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and subscribe for more One Piece content. I have been Fiji. Peace.